Buccaneers have won the toss and they'll receive. Mitch Berger will be kicking off for the Vikings. And back deep for the Buccaneers, Jacquez Green. Berger having a sensational year as a kicker. Green, who will be used as the third wide receiver today for Tampa Bay. The kickoff about a yard into the playing field. Jacquez Green returns it and is down at about the 16. Vikings want the crowd very much in the game. And Trent Dilfer aware of the crowd noise factor, and he has had success more against the Vikings than any other team in the NFC Central, with 9 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Jerry Wunsch starting in place of Jason Odom. This is a banged up offensive line. Dunn and Allstott the keys. Carl Williams will start in place of Bert Emanuel for the Buccaneers. First down on the 16. And a first down pass to Riddell Anthony. And Anthony trying to juke his way for a first down, and he does so as he gets out of bounds. And a first down. Defensively for the Minnesota Vikings, and they've added Jerry Ball, reacquired from the Browns as the nose tackle. John Randall will be moved to defensive end. The linebackers, Dwayne Rudd, Ed McDaniel, and Corey Miller again for Kaylee Wong. Hitchcock, Thomas, Robert Griffith, and Ramos McDonald make up the Vikings secondary. And there's Jerry Ball, who kind of said, sorry he went to Cleveland originally. Glad to be back in the purple and gold.
They're not wasting any time bringing their safety up for that run game.
First down at the 29. The pass is incomplete. Jacquez Green was in position to make the catch, and he was defended by Orlando Thomas, the free safety.
Now, when you just start talking about this game and how the Tampa Bay Bucks think they have to win it, they think they have to pound the football and take advantage of their running game with Allstott and Dunn. What we just pointed out then is it becomes a big deal for this offensive line, not necessarily to blow people off the ball, but to get each man on a defender and then let those running backs pick their spots.
Jason Odom, who's out with a strained back, but Middleton and Mayberry also injured. Second down and 10. And on the draw play, Warwick Dunn, and he is shoved back and stopped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1.
It's interesting, Jerry Ball coming right back into the middle of this, and he's making his pretty large presence felt. They were a different defense without him. This defense is predicated on speed. Both these defenses are. And with Jerry Ball, he gives you an anchor. Every defense needs a point to start, and that's a pretty big point. He's been playing well.
And when you said pretty large,
he gained a couple of LBs, and I'm not talking linebackers.
Third down and 11. They're going to use a silent snap count today because of the crowd. The handoff is to Dunn, and the Vikings pile up. And the crowd into this game as the Minnesota defense comes up big on the first series. Ed McDaniel and company. Robert Griffith, always a hard hitter. And on fourth down, the Buccaneers will kick. Mark Royals will be doing the kicking, and the ever-dangerous David Palmer back deep. And a fine kick by Royals. Palmer at the 27.
Oh, man.
And a flag is down upfield. And Palmer on a second effort, and an injured Buccaneer on the field. David Palmer is finally tackled at the 44-yard line, but there are penalty flags. And an injured Tampa Bay Buccaneer is Mitch Palmer, the long snapper.
There was a heck of a block in the middle of that thing on Shelton Quarles. He just got rejected. One part of this offense.
Referee is Mike Carey.
One part of this offense that needs to get in gear here is their return guy, David Palmer. He's an unused weapon, basically. Offsetting.
Illegal use of the hands and on Minnesota, or on the Vikings, and a holding penalty. But the concern right now is with Mitch Palmer.
You know, the backup snapper to Palmer is their tight end, Dave Moore. And one of the reasons that you have Dave Moore not snapping is because he gets integrated into the offense a little more, so Palmer plays a bigger role.
There were fouls by both teams on the play, both of them during the kick. Illegal hands to the face on the offense and holding by the receiving team. By rule, the receiving team will retain possession and only their foul will be enforced. 10 yards, first down, timeout.
So Palmer limps off the field on his own power, and Randall Cunningham getting set to go to work for the first time.
Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Back here at the Metrodome, and the penalty marked off against the Vikings will set it back to the 17-yard line. Minnesota having offensive problems. The fewest points they scored last year was 24 in their record-breaking season. The Vikings have not scored as many as 24 yet this year.
Vikings aren't wasting any time going with 4 wide receivers, opening this thing up right away.
First down on the 18-yard line. Randall Cunningham to throw, and he swings it out to David Palmer. Matt mentioned not used as much as he has been last year in the backfield, but he makes the play in a gain of 3 yards. Vikings offensively, Randall Cunningham. Numbers: 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Stussy, McDaniel, Christie, David Dixon, and Corey Stringer. The strength has been on the left side. Robert Smith and Chris Carter, Randy Moss and Jake Reed, 3 great receivers, and Andrew Glover, the tight end. Second down and 7, the ball at the 21. Here is Robert Smith trying to turn the corner, and good second effort gets close to the first down. Smith had an impressive second half after being curtailed by the pack in the first half a week ago. Marcus Jones starting at right end. James Canada at defensive tackle with Steve White and Warren Sapp out of action. Derek Brooks, Hardy Nickerson, and Shelton Quarles, the linebackers, and that is a mighty trio. Ronde Barber, Damian Robinson, John Lynch, and Donnie Abraham, the defensive backs. There is Warren Sapp, who has 2 broken bones in his left hand, wanted to go, but Tony Dungy said even last night, 99% not. 3rd and 2 for Randall Cunningham. He has time. Palmer makes the good catch. Gets the first down and extra yardage, brings it up to the 40-yard line, where Hardy Nickerson brings him down, a pickup of 14 and a nifty catch by Palmer.
You know, Dick, so much of this offense, there was so much talk last year, you know, like Carter and Reed and Randy Moss, but this guy here was a major part of this offense, and he still is. And to date, he had not been used that much. When we asked Dennis Green about that, he said, you know, he has the great skills, but he's not a big guy, and he wears down. And we got to be careful how we use him. Well, that right there is how you do use him. 3rd down situation.
Jim Kleinsasser, a rookie tight end, is the up back, number 85 on first down, and they play fake, and Cunningham is going deep for Randy Moss, and he's got it. It's a touchdown.
That didn't take long, did it? All it took was one fallen defensive back in Ronde Barber and just send him up the sideline, and it's 6 quick. There's nothing worse to a defensive coordinator than what Randy Moss gives you, and that's just pure speed. There was nothing tricky about that. He just started running and ran away from Ronde Barber, and then the ball was thrown right where it had to be.
Keep in mind that Barber and Donnie Abraham are 5'10", and the Vikings do not have a receiver shorter than 6'3". Gary Anderson adds the extra point, a 61-yard touchdown pass. Randall Cunningham to Randy Moss, and that'll bring him back in a hurry. That might end the finger pointing and all of the charges of Ray Sherman being a new offensive coordinator, not knowing this team. 61-yard touchdown pass as Mitch Berger kicks off for the second time. Jacquez Green will run it out from the end zone for the Buccaneers. He's hemmed in and down at about the 17.
Well, it's a cardinal sin of defenses. Don't get beat deep. You Ronde Barber, they're going to roll. This is called rolling up the safety to that side. And he just has a safety in the middle, and then it's nothing. He hesitated. He hesitated right at the 40, kind of waiting for Moss, which is the wrong thing to do. And then none of that is made possible if you don't protect. Robert Smith did a nice job of standing in on Hardy Nickerson, which allowed that pass to be thrown.
So now the Buccaneers, with the crowd louder than it was, trailing 7-0. And on first down, Dilfer has the pass knocked away, and it's Dwayne Clemens who got a hand on it.
Dick, right here, this is where the Bucs have to have some character, specifically Trent Dilfer, because they start to falter early and they get behind. This could get ugly. They've got to stay close, and Trent Dilfer has a tendency to beat himself up. He can't get down on himself. He doesn't get down on the team. He beats himself up. He can't do that.
2nd and 10 on the 19-yard line. And a flag is down, and of course we'll have a false start penalty against Tampa Bay. And this is where the offensive philosophy, not of Dilfer, but of Tony Dungy.
Before the snap, false start, offense number 83, 5 yards.
Dave Moore, the tight end, comes up big, because if Dungy's offense gets behind by a big margin early, as they did in the opening game here last year when they were beaten 31-7, they don't have a chance. Tampa Bay has to stay close at least for a half.
They know that, and it's no time to panic. It's only one score. But you have to be able to get a little bit of something going offensively. Just watching inside, I'm watching Tony Williams, 94, just handled George Diaz very easily. And Jerry Ball is doing a good job inside. And if they control the middle, they're not going to be able to run at all.
2nd and 15 following the penalty. Dungy under pressure and takes the sack. He was sacked 7 times last week, but didn't throw an interception, and Dungy prefers that. That was Randall and Tony Williams, and a loss of 9.
Well, the whole thing was set up by John Randall. Randall just going to beat you. He's going to start right up top. And he's just going to beat you working on Gruber. Came back to the inside. Now he has him off to the races. And because of that, Williams is able to come off. But Gruber set hard to the outside, and John Randall took the inside. And you cannot be an effective pass rusher in this league if you don't take the inside.
That's the first sack of the season for John Randall, who's much more free to charge from the defensive end spot. 3rd and 24. The play clock had expired, but we did not see a flag. But now a delay of game penalty will be charged against the Buccaneers.
This is where poise comes into play for this Tampa Bay offense, and really the team. You can't let the crowd beat you and become a factor, and you can't let that quick start, that one Randy Moss touchdown, be the nail in your coffin. There's the whole game to play.
Well, you know, you don't have to tell that to Dungy.
He knows it.
Panic.
He knows it, and he talks about it, but sometimes that doesn't quite jump the synapse in a player's head.
So it's 3rd and 26. Dilfer trying to dump it, but he had a player, and that was Clemens, who had a hand on him.
Yeah, he got his hand on it as he came around.
Clemens got a hand on his throwing arm as he tried to pass it, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, you have to remember it's going to take a little bit longer for this to develop. You see Clemens coming to this side. It's a nice job of staying with it. Just hit his elbow. But because you have the 24 yards, you're going to have to dump the ball, but you have to let it clear out first before you can dump it. And that allowed Clemens to make his move.
Dave Moore, now the long snapper, with Mitch Palmer out for the rest of the game with a sprained knee. And the kick to David Palmer, who is already in Tampa Bay territory, and it will go out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So the Vikings with a 7-0 lead and ideal field position when we return to the Metrodome.
We have with us...
And the Buccaneers find themselves down 7-0 with Minnesota getting the ball in Tampa Bay territory. They gained only 1 yard in the first 2 drives after getting the first down. Minnesota's been relentless on the defensive side. Randy Moss on the 61-yard touchdown pass, and on the reverse, David Palmer trying to get free, and Palmer picks up about 5 or 6 yards on first down. By the way, that 61-yard catch by Moss, when you talk about no big plays for the Vikings, tied his career long reception, which of course he established last year.
Remember, at the start of this game, we talked, and all week long there's been talk in Minnesota about moving him around to try to create, you know, a situation where the defense can't hone in on him. You know, that touchdown was nothing more than just pure speed running past everybody.
2nd down and 5, and Robert Smith going up the middle, close to first down yardage inside the 30-yard line. And of course, a lot of the complaints about the Viking offense rests on the shoulders of Ray Sherman, the offensive coordinator, who had a tough time in Pittsburgh last year, now down on the field after being upstairs. And he said it's a no-win situation. Brian Billick left for Baltimore, and then the tragic death of Chip Myers, who passed away at the age of 53. Myers took over that mantle. 3rd down and 1. Mo Williams, number 21, has checked in the backfield. And Mo Williams getting the call, and he appears to have the first down, running right into John Lynch, and that's not an easy task.
Yeah, well, they were following this rookie. I like this rookie, the Jim Kleinsasser, number 85, the 270-plus tight end fullback. They're using him in the place of DeLong. Right there, he got a lesson. He got a lesson from Hardy Nickerson right there, and that is the lowest man wins. Now, Kleinsasser, I like him. He's a tough guy, and he bends pretty well, but he didn't bend well enough there, and he got his rear end handed to him.
Vikings with a first down at the Bucs 29-yard line. Play action and a pass, and Kleinsasser makes a good catch, backing up on a low throw, and manages to pick up about a yard for his team.
This is a guy, as you're looking at Randy Moss, but this Kleinsasser is a player that not very many people know about. But when you talk to the coaches, talk to Dave Atkins about him, the offensive coaches, and he said, I don't like the kid, I love him. He said, I've been around a lot of good players, from Larry Centers and Byers and all these guys. He said, this guy is the best one.
2nd down and 8. 3 wide receivers, and Randall Cunningham gets time, and this pass bounces in front of Randy Moss.
And Randy Moss had him too. It was
3rd down.
On a deep end, Dick, and the coverage was not there, and a better throw would have been touchdown number 2 for Randy Moss. You know, and Moss knows it too. At the end of this, he's saying, look, just get this, see, a little higher, just get it up a little higher, and I'm in the end zone doing a dance. Well, he's not much of a dancer, is he?
No, he's
a poser.
Kind of went fishing the other day with Chris Carter.
He wasn't dancing there either. He was posing.
3rd down and 8. With under 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 3rd and 8, and the pass. Randy Moss has it, and now trying to get to the end zone. Does. Touchdown again for Randy Moss.
He's not a dancer.
He's a scamperer.
He's a poser. He just gets right over there, takes his pose, hands it to somebody in the end zone. Here's his dance. He's just looking around, see? He just strikes the pose. That's the Moss pose.
27-yard touchdown pass, and a worst-case scenario right now for Tony Dungy of the Buccaneers. It is 13-0 Minnesota.
Well, Tampa came on a blitz underneath. You can see everybody coming inside, and then that's a mistake. Derek Brooks is trying to find him as the crossing receiver. You can't do that. With that kind of speed, he has make-you-miss in him. Forget it.
Gary Anderson makes it 14-0. So Randy Moss, who only caught 2 passes a week ago, has caught 2 for scores, both thrown by number 7, Randall Cunningham.
You by the new full-size Toyota Tundra. Have we gone too far, or have others not gone far enough? By priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service. By IBM. Are you ready for e-business? And by cold, refreshing Zima. Zima, a few degrees cooler.
Randall Cunningham, 2 touchdown passes to Randy Moss. 14-0 in favor of the Vikings. Mitch Berger kicking off for the 3rd time here in this game. And Jacquez Green trying to get something going for the Buccaneers. And he brings it out to the 30. That's his best return thus far.
Dick, what it was is a nice job of catching the Bucs. You're going to watch, they're going to come with a blitz, and they're going to turn the crossing receiver, which in this case is Randy Moss, over to Derek Brooks. Now, Derek Brooks, he can't run with him. That's the first thing. The only way for him to be effective is if he can get a hit on him. But Moss avoided that. And then that crossing route puts the remaining tacklers at a bad angle disadvantage. And he just runs past those angles and scores.
Buccaneers beginning from the 30-yard line. Mike Allstott, nothing there.
See who tackled him? Robert Griffiths, 24. Now that's a safety. And if he's tackling that guy in the backfield, that means he's awful sneaky. He's sneaking up, and they're creating an 8-man front. Remember, traditionally, it's the 7-man defensive front that is used to stop running games. But when you can take your safety and bring him up, he becomes a guy who's unblocked. And if he has instincts like Griffiths, that's a great advantage for your defense.
2nd and 10, and again they give it to Mike Allstott. Has somewhat of an opening, and Allstott getting out to the 37-yard line. Pickup of 7. Ed McDaniel making the tackle. This is unquestionably the toughest test all year for the Buccaneers.
Just watch inside. Now you have your 4 linemen and 3 linebackers. That gives you your 7-man front. And all that is just, you can get those linemen on a hat. A hat on a hat. It's just another way of saying you get everybody on somebody. And that gives you a little bit more room in the running game. That time, they had Griffiths deep in what's is a 2-deep look where your safeties are deep and they don't become as effective run defenders.
Split wide is Warwick Dunn on 3rd and 3. Believe it or not, this is a big 3rd down play for the Buccaneers, and the pass complete to Carl Williams, and it's a 1st down for Tampa Bay. Ramos McDonald making the tackle on Williams, who is starting in place of Bert Emanuel. So Tampa Bay not going to start unleashing their offense. That's not Dungy's style. Trying to just get back into the game.
Well, that's all he has to do. I mean, at this point, you're down 14. You got to straighten out your shorts and try to get something here. Just get a little bit of something to build on.
Dave Moore, the tight end, moves.
Well, now there's a matchup that he likes. He likes something that's being given to him.
From the 41-yard line, and Warwick Dunn. And Dunn doesn't get much. And right now for an NFL update, let's return to Joe Buck in Los Angeles. Joe?
All right, Dick, at Dallas, another Jake Plummer interception, his 10th of the season. Through the hands of rookie Andy McCullough. George Teague is on the other end for Dallas. 32 yards later, Dallas up 7-0. They're driving again. Let's go back to Dick and Matt in Minnesota.
And a very tough opening for the Cardinals after playing Monday night and losing to San Francisco.
Jake Plummer's getting a lesson in learning how to play in this league.
2nd and 9. The screen pass to Dunn. Dunn turning on the Jets into Viking territory, and a 1st down to the 45-yard line of Minnesota. That's a pickup of 13. Jimmy Hitchcock on the play.
That's a nice call. It's a nice call because the offensive line has been having problems with this defensive front who's just getting after him. So you let him come and you let him have a little bit, and then you get Warwick Dunn rather out in the flat. And what that is space, and he's excellent when there's space around him. He can make you miss, and he can make you look pretty foolish.
9 catches, 82 yards last week against Denver. Dunn again. And this time, Corey Miller wraps him up. Miller, who's playing in place of Kylie Wong, who is still out with a hamstring. He was dropped and re-signed by the Vikings, the former New York Giant. And as we said earlier, Tampa Bay limited without Bert Emanuel, who has a touchdown catch so far this year. Last year in the opener, the Vikings trounced the Bucs 31-7. Tampa Bay returned the favor later on in Tampa. 2nd and 9. Dilfer going up top for the receiver, and it's Riddell Anthony, and covered by Ramos McDonald. And that'll bring up 3rd and long.
He couldn't step into that ball. The ball kind of fluttered on him. They're getting some good pressure up front on this offensive line. And they're doing it really, that time they brought Corey Miller. They were able to get some pressure on him. Joe Phillips, you see, finished that thing, but because he wasn't able to step into it, the ball came off and just fluttered up there on him.
That offensive line did not get to practice much together this week because of injuries.
Dick, here's what you're going to watch right now is Jerry Wunsch on John Randall. right down here. Watch this matchup because that's one that Randall should win.
8th play of the drive, and the pass is incomplete. And it's intended for Yo Murphy, who had been inactive, and one of the great names in football already, Yo Murphy. And that'll bring up 4th down.
And you know, if you're Jerry Wunsch, you better get ready because John Randall's coming full force. He does an excellent job of taking away the inside and forcing him up the field. It's a good job by Wunsch. You know, in this league, what happens when John Randall lines up on you, that means that the Vikings and Randall thinks you're the fish. So they're going to come after you. You got to bring your A game when he lines up over.
Mark Royals to kick, and David Palmer with the fair catch signal inside the 15. And a flag is down. Penalty marker is down.
Flag is
back
down
at the 10-yard line.
And the official does not have his hat either, which means that the runner went out of bounds. So then it's going to be whether or not they allowed him to come back in time. Because remember, once he goes out of bounds, you have to let him come back in. If you attack him out there, then there's going to be a flag. Also, the runner can stay out of bounds and use that to his advantage. There's the hat, it's a 6 7/8. You can see it from here.
There is no foul for unnecessary roughness. All the contact happened inbounds
there you go.
On the receiving team. First down.
And that was a good call, Matt, because if it had happened out of bounds with the interference, it did not. Good pickup by the crew. 2:21 remaining in the first quarter. There is David Palmer over on the side.
Remember they said they didn't want to use him because he gets hurt easy, and there they are checking on him.
There's Robert Smith. And Smith, minimal gain on the play. This is a big test for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had faced the likes of Kent Graham, Doug Peterson, and Brian Greasy in their first 3 games to establish what would be on pace to be a record-breaking defensive effort. But now it's Randall Cunningham today and his offensive machine. And next week, Brett Favre up at Lambeau Field.
Things change a little bit, don't they?
Yes. 2nd and 11. Cunningham flushed out of the pocket, fires up the middle, and it's caught by Randy Moss. Moss found an opening, and he makes the reception, a first down at about the 35-yard line and a gain of 32 yards.
There's a flag down there in the play. And it looked like there'll be a late hit on the quarterback going against the Tampa Bay Bucs. I want to show you something with Randy Moss, which I think is a major mistake. Just line up here in the slot. Do not ever let a great receiver run into your secondary without being touched. See, now, to me, that's unfathomable. How you can let him run around, nobody's even touched him. When Randy Moss lines up across from you, you better get hands on him. You better smack him. You better beat him up before he ever gets into his route.
And here's a late hit on Randy Moss and Brad Culpepper. And a penalty marked off, and the Vikings now have the ball practically at midfield, leading 14-0. Moss already 3 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So if he was ever gone, he's back. Here's Robert Smith, slicing off the left side. Inside the Tampa Bay 40, knocked out of bounds by Damian Robinson, the free safety.
Dick, they have him out of bounds because they just caught the Bucs right there. Reagan Upshaw, they caught him in the stunt. Reagan Upshaw just started to take off. You're going to watch him down here. He starts going this way. See, they caught him in what looked to be like it was going to be a zone blitz, and they caught him dropping. And that's a rule for all you coaches out there, high school coaches. If you have somebody who's running zone blitzes on you, if you can run at the dropper, you're going to pick up a first down like that.
Pumps once, and this pass is caught. What a catch by Jake Reed after a collision with John Lynch. And what a start to the year Reed is having.
A lot of time to throw that ball, Dick. You're going to watch it. Watch how this whole thing develops. Remember we said at the start of the game, if he's got time to throw, you can forget that. And then on the outside, Abraham does get his hands on him, but the ball is thrown right in that little gray area in the zone. Before the safety can get there, and just on top of the corner, Cunningham throws it in perfectly, and it comes down with another first.
27-yard catch by Reed, who has had 2 100-yard games already. And now the Vikings knocking on the door again at the 12-yard line. Cunningham finds an open tight end, Andrew Glover, for another score. And this has been too easy for Minnesota thus far.
This looks like a year ago. This looks like they're going to try to get that scoring title all back in one game. If I was Don Meredith right now, I might be singing, and it's only the first quarter.
And what do you think they're saying about Ray Sherman? I don't think you'll hear any complaints about Ray Sherman's play calling.
Now, this is on Randall Cunningham. He was going to look right underneath. See, he's looking hard at Moss, and because of Moss, you're able to get that work behind him with the tight end.
And that's how sad the Buccaneers are right now. And Warren Sapp nursing the broken hand. 20-0 is the score. And
1 foot in.
And there's a challenge going on as Tony Dungy
that's
is
a good call.
Challenging the call.
That's a good call by Tony Dungy. He's going to win it because his left foot was in and his right foot was out.
Well, you know, Tony Dungy should have won some calls earlier in the year against the Giants, and the league kind of sided with him, and then Tony had some comments and was fine.
Tampa Bay is challenging the ruling on the field that the catch was complete and touchdown.
He was fined $10,000 for his comments. Very rare to be outspoken was Tony. It'll be 90 seconds from the time they roll the replay.
Well, Dick, what they're going to say is you have 2 feet in bounds. There's one, and the second one is clearly out of bounds. That's a good call. That should go to Tampa Bay. It's a good call by Tony Dungy.
Now, if they don't overturn it, that would cost the Buccaneers a timeout, but it looks pretty clear from our replay. Mike Carey is going to be the one to make that decision, and the 90 seconds will start when he looks in the viewer and they roll the replay.
They don't even have to waste their time. All I have to do is ask me. If he just calls right now, there's the feet. You can see they're blown up. The one is down. He's not. No, there it is. That's where it final. You'd want to ask if he drugged that foot. But clearly you can see once he gets by, there's pressure on the toe. So if he just calls me right now, I'll tell him and we'll settle this thing.
You know what, Matt? With you around, we don't need instant replay.
Or officials, what the heck? Let's not stop there. Let's just see if we can get the feet right here. There's one. Yeah, there it is.
It has to be indisputable visual evidence to overturn the call.
I think Tony Dungy's a real big fan of the instant replay. But if he gets this challenge right here, it'll make him feel a little bit better. Regardless of all that, though, Minnesota Vikings they look like they did a year ago. They're doing whatever they want.
Yeah, they have the Buccaneers on their heels, and Tampa Bay, knowing that they've got to play this game in Green Bay on the road next week, the schedule getting much tougher for the Bucs. Here's Andrew Glover again on the reception. Did he keep both feet in bounds is the question.
1 foot in. You know, they may make a case that he dragged the toe. Didn't look like it to me.
Before that play, and here's Mike Carey. Cunningham was 7 of 8 for 154 yards.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So they did not have indisputable visual evidence to change the call, and it will cost Tony Dungy and the Buccaneers a timeout, and the Vikings will get credit for the 12-yard touchdown pass.
Okay, I'm a big dope. But look, I'm sorry. To me, it looked like he didn't get his hands down. Let's put the feet down.
22 seconds remaining in this first quarter, and Matt, you're absolutely right. This is
what, that I'm a big dope?
No,
okay.
I will never say that. You're bigger than I am. A carbon copy to the opening game last year when Brad Johnson threw 4 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Randy Moss, as the Vikings trounced the Bucs. Well, let's take a look at what's on tap next week in the NFL. The pregame coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. The Bears against the Vikings right here at the Metrodome. Cowboys go against the Eagles. 49ers against the surprising Rams, and the Falcons go against the Saints.
49ers have themselves a tough one today.
Yes, they do, against Tennessee at home.
Still hard to say the Tennessee Titans today.
He just did.
It's hard to say it, though. It just doesn't kind of flow. Much like defense isn't flowing right now for Tampa Bay. Frankly, this team, the Tampa Bay Bucs, they don't have a come-from-behind team. They're a team that has to keep it close, run the football, have that part of their game going. At 21-0, even though it's the first quarter, there's a lot of time yet. A lot of time. At 21-0 is going to be a lot for this offense to overcome.
Tony Dungy said, you give me a 13-10 score, even if we're behind at halftime, I like our chances. He's not going to get that.
Well, now they're going to have to do something, although it's still too early just to open everything up. They still have to stick with their running game and still run the football.
Pittsburgher will be kicking off, and Yo Murphy, number 88, the first-year free agent from Idaho, returning from 2 yards in the end zone. Yo Murphy got some speed, turning the corner, and a good play made to prevent
Rob Holmberg, 51, was right there.
28-yard return.
Well, Trent Dilfer and all of his critics down there are saying, you know, we don't really have a quarterback. If we'd have a quarterback, we'll do anything. And then, of course, Trent will say, you know, they kind of keep the wraps on you. And there's a lot of truth to both sides, whatever. But now you're going to need that quarterback's arm. And now, don't forget, he needs protection, number one. And then he also has to have receivers who can get open, because I'm watching the tapes, and there's a lot of time there's no place to throw the ball.
First and 10 from the 21-yard line. Nearing the end of the first quarter, and the slant pass is caught by Carl Williams, short of the first down by a yard, and that will be the last play of the first quarter. And that is the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Minnesota Vikings 21, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue right after these messages. The Metrodome, Dick Stockton, Matt Millen. Cam Oliver is with us as well, and the Buccaneers, not much success punting the first 3 times they've had the ball, starting from their 35. Warwick Dunn looking for running room, and not much there. He only needed about a yard and may have the first down, and it looks like he does.
Dick, let's go back and look at that call in the touchdown. Let's see exactly where. I don't want to beat this thing to death, but let's just take a look at it. I want you to watch. Clearly the left foot is down. You see that? Now watch right there. They would have to say, the only thing I can think is that they're saying that it dragged on it. Watch it down here. That they're going to, that thing drags in there someplace. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to drag.
But not indisputable visual evidence, however you want to describe indisputable. And what the glossary of terms is. We know the glossary of terms for Jerry Ball. He is a bulky run stopper, and he comes in with 3rd down and inches coming up for Tampa Bay. Spoj Fazio, the defensive coordinator. So the Vikings are playing it for the run, obviously, with their new nose tackle in there. And Tampa Bay opening it up with 3 wide receivers, and they spread some more people out as well. Quarterback sneak, and Dilfer gets the first down, and
you see the official pointing right away.
Down by contact. Whistle with blown the play dead. So the Bucs have a first down as they start the second quarter. Warren Sapp, who hit his left hand on the helmet of John Lynch, had a cast that Lynch signed during the week, saying just sorry when he signed the autograph. Now has a soft cast on, but he's not playing today, and it's got to be tough for the big guy. First down at the 38. Warwick Dunn to the top of your picture. Quick to Riddell Anthony, and the Vikings were right there. They weren't going to let him get away. Pickup of 1. Jimmy Hitchcock blanketing him. No gain.
That's the 3rd time they've thrown that quick out there. And they're just trying to get Hitchcock to be cognizant of the fact that if he gives himself a cushion like that, they're going to take advantage of it. So now the next step is fake that thing and take off and go. You want that corner to bite, then you have a big play down the field.
2nd and 10. Handoff is to Dunn. Nothing doing, and it's Robert Griffith again forcing the play. And the Buccaneers have had absolutely no success running up the middle as they did against the Broncos a week ago.
watching this Minnesota Viking defense take it away. I think Warren Sapp's
21 points, and that is more points than they have scored in any game this year, and we're only early here in the second. 3rd and 11. Out of the shotgun is Trent Dilfer. Pressure on Dilfer. And his pass is caught. And let's see whether Riddell Anthony gained ground and didn't get the first down. He has it.
It's a good job by Dilfer. Nice job of the offensive line to give him the protection. He was able to stand up a little bit in that pocket and make that throw. Good job by Anthony of knowing where he was to get that first down. Nice job all the way around. Now watch Riddell Anthony. Dwayne Rudd's going to take away the inside. He actually turned the wrong way, and that's that retreat move there, like that, the F troop retreat. Went the other way, but he was able to gain that ground back.
They're going to bring out the sticks to measure and make sure. And they have it by the length of the football. So the Buccaneers with a first down. But this is a team that is trailing by 3 touchdowns with admittedly a close to the vest conservative offense. And for a patient coach in the NFL, it's Mr. Dungy.
Well, they go with nobody in the backfield. They're going to spread this defense out. Which also means there's nobody behind him to pick up a free rusher.
First down at the 48-yard line. Randall charging, and the pass thrown underneath to a tight end is complete, but about 4 or 5 yards shy of the tight end. That is first down. Dave Moore on the catch.
Watch John Randall. He knows there's nobody back there, so he can sniff some quarterback flood. Paul Gruber does a good job of just getting his hands and forcing him past the quarterback. By forcing him past, you can watch, by forcing him deep, it allows Dilfer to step up a little bit, to buy some time, and then make the throw.
2nd down and 5. There's John Randall getting his first sack of the year with help from Tony Williams in the first quarter. Handoff to Mike Allstott. Bulls forward, running right into Tony Williams. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4 now for the Buccaneers.
Tony Williams made that tackle. Jerry Ball made the play. Remember a year ago, Jerry Ball made a ton of tackles in the backfield, but what doesn't show up on the tackle sheet is when you disrupt something, and that time Ball did that. He was able to make him redirect in the backfield, and then, incidentally, this 320, no kidding! There's no way he's 320.
There's the yellow line. That's where they have to go for the first down. 3rd down and 4. Out of the shotgun and the slant pass. Jacquez Green makes the catch, then is hit by Hitchcock, but not before the Bucs get the first down on the Viking 40.
Nice by Dilfer. Saw the whole field. Then he had all the receivers to one side, and then Green on the other side. So he sees it. Right there, he's calling protections. Now he also knows, you see him right there, hurry up, come on, we got the clock. That little glance he had that way knew that he had one receiver outside with nobody in the middle. So you take advantage of the quick slant, you pick up the 6. There's a lot of stuff going on in every play. You as the quarterback, you have to see the whole picture.
From the 40-yard line, play fake, and a good one, and the pass is caught, and it is Carl Williams, and another first down. That was Riddell Anthony, on the reception.
85 and 6 looks the same from up here, Dick, but it's funny you say Carl Williams because he was wide open crossing the field, and he really could have thrown it either way. He had Williams and he had Riddell Anthony, but because of the nice protection, he has the ability to take his choice. And in this instance, he goes outside to Anthony to pick up another first down.
What made that was the play action, which the Buccaneers are very proficient at. Gain of 14, first down on the 26 of the Vikings. Dilfer with a pump fake, and his pass up the middle is caught by Dave Moore, who's in for the touchdown.
Nice job of protecting. That was excellent, Dick.
And a critical scoring drive by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The 26-yard pass to Dave Moore for the touchdown gets them somewhat back in the game, and could be down by only 2 touchdowns after the conversion.
Sapp didn't roll his eyes that time either.
No, he didn't.
No, in fact, he got a good spit out of that one. And it's easy to see why. Good job of Dilfer of pumping. That draws the safety back to the outside. He's able to come back to the inside, and Moore is clear, and it's 6 points.
And Dilfer knows how significant that was with your team down by 3 touchdowns. Martin Gramatica, who played soccer as a youngster in Argentina, kicks the extra point, but there's a penalty flag down in the end zone.
That was big, Dick. That was big for the Tampa Bay Bucks.
12 men on the field, on the defense. That foul will be enforced on the kickoff. The score is good.
So it's a 21-7 game, and now the Vikings will be penalized 5 yards when Tampa Bay kicks off.
To build vehicles for your mind and heart. Nissan. Driven. By 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save. By Gateway. Gateway speaks to 50,000 people a day. Connect with us. And by EA Sports and NASCAR 2000. If it's in the game, it's in the game.
Here at the Metrodome, Dave Moore, who just caught the touchdown pass, bringing the Buccaneers to within 21-7. Dilfer perfect 7 for 7 on that 73-yard drive. 9 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in the first half. And now it's up to the Buccaneer defense to hold for the first time today, hold the Vikings out of the end zone.
Dick, Dilfer did a good job in that drive, not only of looking people off and pumping, but having some presence in that pocket, because he bought some time, stepped up, was able to find the open receiver. There's a lot of stuff going on. He did an excellent job in that whole series.
Yeah, the Vikings didn't get near him.
No, and he also saw the whole field. I mean, that touchdown, there was a lot of things going on. He did well.
Gramatica with the kickoff. Mo Williams is back to return, and he'll down it there for the touchback. So the Vikings will begin from the 20-yard line when we return to the Metrodome.
Sees that this defense is too deep, which means they have 2 guys covering the halves. It means there's a middle that's open. In order to do that, he does the pump, which draws the safety this way. And by doing that, ensuring that the middle is going to be open, here's the pump, that draws the safety. Now he knows he has the middle open for the tight end Moore to take advantage of. That little pump and that presence in the pocket allowed Moore to use the middle and get the 6.
Second touchdown catch of this young season for Dave Moore. Vikings, who have scored on every possession, begin from the 20-yard line. And here is Robert Smith. And Smith is tackled by Hardy Nickerson. Well, it gets very interesting. The playoffs begin. The Boston Red Sox and the Cleveland Indians clash in the playoffs, which begin Wednesday at 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific. Pedro Martinez headed for the Cy Young Award, 23-4. Manny Ramirez with 165 RBIs. Red Sox, by the way, won 8 of 12 meetings between the clubs this season. 2nd and 8 on the 22. Looking to pass is Cunningham, and a sideline pattern to Randy Moss. He's got it, and a first down for Moss at the 32-yard line. He just camped out at the sideline and made the play good for 11.
A lot of time to throw the ball, but I'm watching this offense, and you know, and this offense is going strong. It's more than Randy Moss. And the guy who really makes that offense, in my mind, is Chris Carter. And when they talked about moving Randy Moss around, that also meant that you were going to move Chris Carter around. He didn't seem to be bothered by it, because in talking to him yesterday, his main concern was they just want to win.
He has yet to catch a pass. First down at the 33. They swing it out to Robert Smith, and he is met head on. But it has been an impressive start offensively for the Vikings in the first quarter. Randall Cunningham with 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Randy Moss. Won a 61-yard strike. And a 21-point cushion made lessened by Tampa Bay's touchdown on their last possession.
We were also waiting for Randy Moss to be moved around a lot, but heck, the way they've been going, they don't have to move anything.
2nd and 8. Robert Smith trying to find blockers, and once again Hardy Nickerson with the hit. It'll be 3rd down and about 5 coming up for Minnesota.
Tampa Bay defense knows you have a little bit of a lull out there right now, and this is a time after they just got that score, they got to stop them right here to try to get the ball back again, to try to let Dilfer get right back into what he's been doing well in that last series. They can stop him here and jump back, then it's a game.
Monty Kiffin, who used to be an assistant coach for linebackers here in Minnesota. And a timeout coming up called by Minnesota. By the way, David Palmer has some injured ribs, and they're going to evaluate him at halftime. We'll be back. Carter, who not only hasn't caught a pass, they haven't attempted one in his direction.
But you know what? Right now, he's happy with that. Because they're up by 14, and the offense is moving. His job is more than just catch passes with this team. Although third down is his down.
He's also a leader on the field. 3rd down and 6. And here's a pass to Robert Smith. And they're not going to get the first down as 5 Buccaneers are over there led by John Lynch and Donnie Abraham. So that'll bring up 4th down, loss of 1 on the play. Chris Carter, who last week after Jimmy Hitchcock gave up the winning touchdown pass to Corey Bradford, talked to him in heated terms on the field, and he said, I do it again. They expect me to do this because I'm the team leader. And he says, I have to be the so-called coach on the field. Denny Green gives him license to do that, and I think the other players understand. So it wasn't just a simple matter of berating a player last week. Jacquez Green now back to return for the Buccaneers. Looking for running room. And Green gets up to the 29-yard line. And we'll be right back. 52-yard kick. Well, the Minnesota offense stalled for the first time today by the Buccaneers D, and now they get the ball back on the 29, trailing 21-7. After a successful last drive, they're on the 29-yard line. Trent Dilfer in the pocket, and the pass is caught by Riddell Anthony, and that is a first down for Tampa Bay. You know, it's interesting, Matt, when we look at Tony Dungy, and I think his patience really feeds off into his team, even when they're behind by as many as 3 scores.
Well, he's steady. He's not going to let the emotion of the game get to him. We'll just watch him on the sideline. He does an excellent job of just staying right where he has to be. And then his team follows suit. They do a good job of staying within the game plan. What you're seeing right now out of Trent Dilfer.
Buccaneers with a first down on their 41. And the pitch goes to Warwick Dunn, who changes direction. John Randall trying to track him down. And Warwick Dunn gets by Randall and nearly gets a first down. He'll be shy by about 1.5 yards. But a great move by Warwick Dunn, ducking under Randall. Hitchcock making the play ultimately.
Good awareness by John Randall. You're going to watch him on this side, working down on one. Now he sees it, stays as deep as the deepest, avoids the block, and then he ran under him. Watch him. He's got to get his hands on him, but he just doesn't know quite what to do with him. Look at it. You're it.
Talkative at the line, and the handoff to Dunn, and Dunn does not get it. He is tackled shy of the first down at midfield, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
A lot of times you watch this Tampa Bay offense and you say, why would, now when you have Mike Allstott, why would they run little Warwick Dunn inside? And the answer is simple, because Warwick Dunn is excellent between the tackles. He's one of the rare little guys, kind of like James Brooks was a few years ago,
right,
who just gets it. I mean, he knows how to run between the tackles, and he runs behind his pads very well.
Third down and 1. And again, they go to Warwick Dunn, and he doesn't get it. It'll be 4th down. And Jerry Ball, tough to block him out of the middle, and it'll be 4th down. And maybe less than 1 yard as Trent Dilfer looks to the sideline, and it appears that the Buccaneers will go for it on 4th down.
No, it wasn't even close. That was a good job up front. Nice job inside. That is the linebacker. I don't know which one it is, but he's right there under Allstott. He just changed the course of that play.
Now they're going to kick
go
it.
back inside. Very well done by that side, that backer. Probably Ed McDaniel, although it could have been Dwayne Rudd.
Robert Tate goes back deep, and Mark Royals with the kick to Tate, and the ball rolls into the end zone for a touchback. So the Buccaneers had an opportunity at midfield and could not convert. Well, it's Fox's Big Cinema Sunday after the season premiere of World's Funniest. He's an officer, but he's no gentleman on King of the Hill. And then the Simpsons need an exorcist. And Futurama goes Animal House, followed by the X-Files. It all starts tonight at 7 on Fox.
Animal House.
Well, there was an opportunity that went by the board.
Speaking of Animal House, that last tackle on Warwick Dunn, Jerry Ball got over and he gave it John Belushi, just kind of flopped right on top of him. He's playing well. I mean, it looks like he hasn't missed a beat in this Minnesota defense.
Vikings with a first down on the 20 with 3:40 to go in the first half. Wide open is Andrew Glover, already with a touchdown catch in this game, and Glover with a solid gain out to the 45, good for 25 yards. Lynch and Nickerson defending.
You have to remember, when you're playing pass defense and everything's laid out, you cannot bite underneath. See the bite here by Derek Brooks? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under. And when you bite up here, they throw behind you. That's on Derek Brooks. He bit hard, got magnets in his rear end, jumped up close, and they got behind him. You can't do that. That's the mental discipline you have to have in your coverage.
On the 45-yard line, and the pass to Chris Carter, who makes his first reception of the game on a slant and picks up huge yardage back to the 31-yard line. A gain of 18 yards. John Lynch making the tackle, and you knew sooner or later they would find one of the greats in the game.
Damian Robinson saw it, and he tried to go up there to get a little bit of hand on it, but he just ran right past him. I don't understand this. If I was Monty Kiffin and Herman Edwards, the defensive coordinator and also the assistant head coach, I'd be driving me nuts right now. You get a defender up there on the receiver. Your job, when you get him up there in a position to put your hands on him, put your hands on him.
2 wide open pass plays for the Vikings. Brings them to the 31-yard line. Complete, no flag is thrown.
It wasn't, but Hardy Nickerson hit him before the ball got there. Robert Smith is pleading his case eloquently, I might add. Very well spoken.
When he isn't at the piano keys, he is quite the eloquent speaker, but no flag thrown, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Cunningham with a very impressive performance thus far, 13 of 15. 227 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Cunningham falls down and stays down. And now it's Robert Smith on the handoff. And Cunningham stayed down because I think Christie, his center, fell on it.
Well, Christie, I think Christie stepped on his foot, either that or one of the guards.
2-minute warning coming up.
Looks like Christie got him. Maybe Randall McDaniel.
Good awareness by Cunningham, though. We'll be right back.
Jeff Christie's right foot come back and get Randall Cunningham, and he's going to force him to trip right at the start. And then he's thinking, what the heck, you're down? You stay down, okay? And I'm going to make sure you stay down. So he turns around and he steps on him the second time, right here. See it? He got him right behind the knee that time. Nice job of having the wherewithal to be able to just dump that ball off to try to create something. But that's tough. When you're a center and you have somebody on your nose, 2 things you have to do. First of all, you have to get your hands up, because they're going to always pass rush you to the side you're snapping. And then secondly, you got to get your feet set. And if you're a little quicker than your quarterback, those things happen.
Yards per attempt, pretty gaudy for Cunningham. 14 yards today. 3rd down and 11. This is our 2-minute warning. 1:59 showing on the clock, and the Buccaneers so anxious to get in there on the blitz.
And they're rolling the dice, because they were going to have Abraham on Moss and Rondé Barber on Chris Carter. Brian Kelly outside, all man-to-man.
Encroachment on the defense, number 97.
So that'll make it 3rd down and 6.
3rd down.
Toyoka Jackson. Really, they could have called a host of anyone.
Right. And that's always a good word when there are several players, a host of players.
A host of them.
3rd down and 6 coming up at the 27-yard line. Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. Buccaneers were trailing 21-0 at one point.
See if Kiffin goes after this again with the man. Yep, here comes Lynch. Lynch is sneaking up inside. Now they're backing off.
Flags are down.
He can run it if he wants.
Be a free play for Randall Cunningham, going to the end zone and throwing it over Randy Moss and the company. the fact that they let them go on with the play may be a penalty against the defense, but we'll check with what Mike Carey tells us.
He had an open photographer back there.
Offside on the defense, number 97. 5 yards, remains third down.
Well, it's now 3rd and short after being 3rd and long. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Joe Buck, Ron Pitts, and Marv Levy will have scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. So 3rd down and 1 after it was 3rd and 11. 2 penalties against the Tampa Bay defense.
Ayoka Jackson both times.
Jackson suffered dizziness in practice this week and came out. But this team is thin on the defensive line for this game. 3rd and 1 at the 22. Rolling out the pass. It's caught by Kleinsasser and a first down to the 15-yard line. Jim Kleinsasser on the rollout, wide open, and the smile on Randall Cunningham's face speaks volumes.
He has the option of 3 guys. Kleinsasser's right here on the bottom. He can get the bump inside, then come back outside. He also has Glover at that level, and then Carlester Crumpler, the 3rd tight end, at another level. He has his just pick and choose whoever's open. Hank took the first one, which was Kleinsasser.
Team rich in tight ends. Andrew Glover catching a touchdown pass today.
Got some handles there too.
Yeah, right.
Crumpler.
1st and 10 at the 15, and Robert Smith. He's hard to bring down today. Smith gets inside the 15-yard line, picking up 4 yards on the play. Clock running, under a minute to go in the first half, and Smith is going to come out, replaced by Mo Williams, as the Vikings looking to add still another score before intermission. 2nd down and 6 at the 11-yard line. Jake Reed split left.
Carter and Moss. There goes Moss across.
Carter in the slot. The pass up the middle, incomplete. Reed was the intended receiver. And that will bring up 3rd down with 26 seconds left. Jake Reed having a big year. Missed the last 5 games of last season with back surgery, and then did not play in the game against the Falcons for the NFC Championship. Has been the main target with defenses blanketing Randy Moss, and Reed has taken advantage of it. 3rd and 6. Pressure put on Cunningham, and his pass picked is, let's see if it's ruled an interception. It is. It's an interception intended for Carter and Donnie Abraham.
The great play by John Lynch. That should have been a touchdown. They had the linebacker Alsherman Singleton walked out, and then he came underneath. And then John Lynch was in the middle of the field and had to come all the way. Watch this. Just at the end, he tips it. And Abraham is able to pick it up. Watch where he comes from. He's in here. They walk him inside. Now it looks like you're going to have man coverage. He goes past him. He's open now. Ball's open now. Lynch sees it, reads it perfectly, is able to get his hands on it. And that's a great play by John Lynch. Abraham is there just to punctuate it, but the play was really made by Lynch. That's as good as it gets.
I tell you, Matt, Lynch has been downfield many times today on plays. You remember he was downfield on the great catch by Jake Reed earlier in the game. He has been quite the mobile player, always a hard hitter, pro bowler.
That's not his strength,
one of many pro bowlers that the Buccaneers had a couple of years ago.
His strength is not really in pass coverage in terms of running and moving like that. That's an excellent job of reading and being where he has to be.
21 seconds remaining in the first half. Give us to Warwick Dunn. And Dunn will get up to the 25. And Tony Dungy not about to try anything fancy in the final seconds. Fortunate that he's down by 2 touchdowns because the Vikings seemingly were going in. But keep in mind, the Buccaneers were stopped on 2nd and short at midfield in their last possession. So the Minnesota Vikings scoring 3 quick touchdowns in the first quarter, holding on to a 21-7 lead with Randy Moss the chief target. That is the end of the first half with the score, the Vikes 21, the Buccaneers 7. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
In just 5 days.
Welcome to Harsh Realm. What the hell is this place? What are you looking at?
Harsh Realm series premiere Friday on Fox. When the call comes in, a hero will be born.
Welcome to the job.
Ryan Caulfield, Year One, series premiere October 15th on Fox.
NFL Sunday Ticket is brought to you in part by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Let's launch it, Slim. We talked about this all week. We got to stick with the game plan. We got to run the ball.
James says the max protect. Out right, box right, hound right, near right, fifth, 989.
Want to be.
And we welcome you to the studio. I'm Joe Buck, sitting in along with Ron Pitch, the coach, Marv Levy. We'll get to him in just a moment. But it is scores time, and we check in with the game you're watching. Minnesota, as they get that offense cranked up, a 21-7 lead at the half. Bucks' #1 defense being shredded. The Dallas Cowboys with that lead, 21-0. Late in the second quarter, Rocket Ismail, a 63-yard touchdown catch. The Giants lead by 1. They are now at the half. The Giants up by 1 over Philadelphia. The Saints lead, and Ditka's return to Chicago, 7-0 over the Chicago Bears. How about the Rams? Maybe they're for real. 21-3 lead at Cincinnati. They're at the half. Baltimore and Atlanta, 3-3. An 0-3 Falcons team looking for their first win. Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. The home team has won every game in this series so far. Jacksonville with the lead there by 4. The Browns looking for their first win, a 7-3 lead late in the second quarter at home over New England. And we look at a wild card game. The Mets trying to win that wild card. They trail 1-0 in the bottom of the third inning. We check in with the coach, and Marv Levy, let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings offense finally getting kick-started, and Randy Moss is lighting it up today.
Yes, he is, and they're seeing man-to-man defense for the first time, and Randy's going one-on-one. They've been stymied with zones earlier.
Well, Randy Moss has been crying about getting the ball. He has been getting the ball, and the Vikings trying to get on track with a good first half over Tampa Bay. We'll send you back out to Minnesota right after this. At the Metrodome in Minneapolis with the Minnesota Vikings leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 21-7, and we'll be back to the Metrodome after these messages.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
The start of the third quarter here in Minneapolis, the Vikings lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 21-7, and of course the one thing that Tony Dungy said, we've got to keep the game close. It's closer than it was. It looked like it was going to be an early blowout for the Minnesota Vikings with 3 early touchdowns.
Well, if you ask me, what they've got to be able to do in the second half is they have to be able to generate a pass rush, because Randall Cunningham's back there just reading whatever he wants to read, including the defense. And he has the time to be able to pick and choose. And really, he's thrown the ball extremely well in the first half. He's been able to go deep to Randy Moss and get the big play back, which is what everybody comes here to see. But until they can get legitimate pressure, they're going to continue to struggle.
Key, of course, is getting the ball to Randy Moss, and that's what they did, and they did early on. The 61-yard touchdown pass made it 7-0 in favor of the Vikings. And then a 27-yard pass to Randy Moss to make it 14-0. So they found a way of getting the ball to Randy Moss. Now, Warren Sapp is not playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their defense trying to hold the fort. Now, what does Tampa Bay do now in the second half? They've kept it conservatively, but they're still down by 2 scores.
Well, offensively, they just stay with what they're doing in the first half. That's the first thing. Defensively, though, he's going to have to roll the dice a little bit more. And you saw earlier when he did roll the dice, they beat him for 6 points on the blitz. But they have to be able to generate a pass rush. They just can't sit there and let him just pick and choose, because he's going to kill you. Anybody's going to kill you. But when you have Chris Carter, Jake Reed, and Randy Moss, it's going to get ugly.
Let's take a look at halftime statistics now. Not much rushing in the game, but look at the 233 yards mustered by the Vikings in the passing department.
Well, that's the key. And again, that goes back right here. That goes back to the lack of pass rush. Really, Randall Cunningham hasn't been touched, basically. He's been able to go back there to pick and choose. So we'll see what Lonnie Kiffin, Mad Professor, comes up with here in the second half.
Buccaneers had an opportunity to do some more damage. They had second and short, second and a yard at midfield. Did not make it on second or third down, and then kicked it away. And it looked like the Vikings were going in for what have been a huge score toward the end of the first half. And then the tip ball and the interception by Abraham. Right now, let's go down to Pam Oliver down on the sideline, who's with the Bucs coach Tony Dungy. Ma'am.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dick. Tony, it's just a 2-touchdown lead. What do you guys need to do in the second half?
Yeah, we have to start playing. We're fortunate to be this close. We haven't made any plays, and Randall's playing great, but we've got to force some turnovers in the second half to get back in it.
How do you get pressure on Randall?
Well, we're trying. We've tried some different things, haven't really gotten there, and they've executed real well.
Appreciate it. Good luck in the second half. Back upstairs to Dick.
All right, thank you very much, Pam. And Trent Dilfer told us yesterday, I'm never in the game plan meetings, and this is strictly what Tony Dungy wants to do, and he's engineering that. And you know, a lot of people say this could be Dilfer's last chance to show that he can make progress as a quarterback. Tony Dungy very complimentary about Sean King in a big way, the rookie from Tulane, who is the third quarterback on the team behind Eric Zier, who he acquired from Baltimore. There is Sean King from Tulane, and glowing terms, and Tony Dungy saying, I think he's going to be a great one someday.
Well, and he'll have to wait his turn, because what, 11 out of 16 here in the first half for Dilfer, that's nothing to sneeze at. He started off a little shaky, but they've given him some time. That touchdown pass, that was as good as it gets. I mean, he bought time with the pump. He knew where he had to go. He recognized the whole thing. That's what they need. They need that consistently if they're going to do anything. And then what Pam asked him earlier, when she asked Tony Dungy about how do you generate a pass rush, he really didn't give an answer. And I think the answer that you're going to get is what we're going to see here in the second half, because there's only a couple ways you can do it. You can do it with your down 4 people just getting after them, and clearly that hasn't happened. Or you're going to have to bring an extra guy and blitz. And when you do that, you take chances.
Chidi Ahanatu, you saw there on the bench, 4 sacks. Sapp out of action has 4 sacks. But let's take a look at Randall Cunningham and his passing distance-wise so far.
Well, the plan was to stay deep in your zones and make them throw underneath. And, well, 7 out of 8 under 10. Not bad. 8 out of 11 down below. It's not, I mean, having a great day. The biggest thing with this is this, as I'm writing it, no pressure. And also, when you look at that, you got no sap. You can see he's talking here to Pam. Pam's trying to get a pass rush out of him. He can't do it when he's not in uniform. If you look at Warren Sapp, though, if you look at Warren Sapp right now, he's physically different than he was a year ago. Lost 40 pounds. He's one of the rare guys in sports, specifically in the National Football League, who'll talk about himself if they don't do well. Usually guys, they won't say anything if they do something wrong. Talking to Warren Sapp, he says, look, I was a fat slob. I was out of shape. I didn't play well. I got to do better than that. I'm a better player than that. I like that in a player.
And they missed his 4 sacks. This is a very impressive defensive line. But, you know, you miss Sapp and you miss White, Steve White, the defensive end, who's gotten off to a great start.
See, Dick, you look at Warren Sapp and they start talking about sacks, but he's more than just a sack guy. And he makes everybody in that line better.
Bo Williams returning the kickoff for the Vikings. And we start the second half. But David Palmer has bruised ribs. They evaluated him at halftime and decided he is finished for the day. So Palmer, who was such a big weapon last year in the backfield besides his returns last season, not that durable, and Denny Green talked to us about that the other day. So Palmer is lost for the rest of the game.
And the thing to remember with him is it's a long season, and so you'd rather take him out here, let him get a little healthy so you have him for the long run.
Ball at the 25-yard line. The Vikings leading 21-7, as Tony Dungy told Pam Oliver, we're fortunate to be down by only 2 touchdowns. Here is Robert Smith going up the middle. Smith, who carried 7 times for 28 yards in the first half, getting 6 yards on the play. NFC Central with the Detroit Lions, who along with the Packers getting a bye this week at 2-1. Tampa Bay also 2-1. And Minnesota, they feel, I think, Matt, that as the season goes on, they're going to turn it on toward the end of the season. That's
all you have to do is look at their roster. I mean, the team with the best players usually wins. They have the best players offensively. Look, Green Bay has the best quarterback, and this is a passing league.
Robert Smith close to the first down. Hardy Nickerson making the shoe top tackle.
Dick, when you're playing the kind of defense that Tampa Bay does, and they play that 2 deep, which means your safeties are covering each half the field deep. When you do that, you don't have good run support. The run support then falls on your front 7. And the way to get a team out of cover 2 is to run right at it. If you can run on it, they've got to make an adjustment.
3rd down and 1 for the Vikings. And Mo Williams,
there you go,
hit, and that was John Lynch, who came up strong all over the place, having a sensational defensive day.
Dick, that's one of those things. You get him out of that 2 deep look, that he would be the one of the deeps of the 2 deep. This time he's just going to sneak on up. You can see him right there. And his job is to fit in to this front 7. Now he's going to see it. That's a perfect job of reading. He's seeing exactly what Mo Williams is seeing. And he gets a little help from his friends there. Chidi Ahanatu gives him an extra.
They appear to be short of the first down.
That's a big hit by Lynch. Lynch is a dangerous tackler, not only for the opposing offense, but also for his own teammates.
Yeah, his helmet got in the way of Warren Sapp's left hand last week.
He's going to whack somebody, and whoever gets in the way, that's the way it goes.
It's 4th down, and Mitch Berger is going to come on for the Vikings. So a big stop by the Tampa Bay defense, and Dennis Green doesn't care whether it's a yard or a foot. He had sent Mitch Berger on immediately, and he'll kick it away. So the Buccaneers, and Mitch Berger having a sensational year, leading the NFL in punting. Coming into this game, only 1 of his 9 punts have been returned. That's a nice extra weapon to have.
The Burgermeister Burger,
as he is known in quarters. Jacquez Green, who has returned 1 punt today, and a great kick by Berger will have Green backing up to his 12-yard line. Flag is down. Penalty marker down. Green also down at the 20-yard line, but there's a penalty. Mo Williams made the stop on Green.
And a hat down also.
So another player might have gone out of bounds before coming back in. Side judge. Hatless.
During the kick, holding on the receiving team, number 34. Half the distance to the goal. They retain possession. First down.
Well,
timeout.
Trent Dilfer has his work cut out for him.
All right, Captain, we're going to have a coin toss now. Visiting team.
Trucks on the road.
Buccaneers starting from the 6-yard line, their worst starting field position of the game. Dilfer in the end zone, looking for a receiver, having trouble, and Dilfer runs out of bounds after pitching up a couple, and a flag is down, and a late hit. Corey Miller.
Dick, that looks like it was all messed up. They went with play action, sent nobody deep. They had Dave Moore, the tight end, out there. And they had Allstott out there, but it didn't look like there was any primary receiver.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 55. They get out of bounds. Automatic. First down, 15-yard penalty.
It's a big break for the Buccaneers. And a good call by the officials. He was out of bounds when the hit came.
I guess they have to protect him. It wasn't even a hit, it was just a push.
He was out of bounds.
Yeah. This turned to a national wussy league.
First down at the 22-yard line. Buccaneers get out of some early difficulty. See what they do now. Mike Allstott, who hasn't carried much today, gets a second wind and second effort, and takes it out to the 26-yard line, where Dwayne Rudd makes the tackle. Next week, here's our lineup. NFL on Fox. The Bears against the Minnesota Vikings in an NFC Central Division battle. Cowboys, who are way ahead of the Arizona Cardinals and still Undefeated in this season. That's our lineup. The pregame show begins at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. Allstott only 4 carries thus far in the game for 13 yards. It is 2nd down and 5. He had a career game a week ago. Play fake and the pass out to Allstott. He's got blockers in front of him. Oh, no, Mike Allstott gets the first down, loses his helmet, but not his head.
which is a good thing. You know, that's a good thing. A good play there. Watch Allstott. You know, one thing he does extremely well is he finishes his runs. Get his head down, and then looks to me like he needs a tighter helmet or a tighter chin strap.
He gained 131 yards, a career high on 25 carries last week against Denver, or a bigger head pick. It looks like that head can take a pounding. Ball at the 38-yard line of Tampa Bay. Taken end around, and here's Warrick Dunn trying to turn the corner, and Allstott with a good block. And a first down into Minnesota territory, and a gain of 16 yards. Run made the play, but Allstott with a good block on the play.
Well, when you're going to run a play like this, because really you're faking and you're running right back into the fake, you have to be able to run with your eyes, and watch his eyes. Nice job of Allstott staying right there on Ramos McDonald. That should be a tackle, though. I mean, you're taking a block onto the inside. He's going to force you outside. You're forcing, and you're going outside. He still runs by you. I think Ramos McDonald, his eyes closed.
First down at the 46 of Minnesota. Play fake, and the pass incomplete. It was intended for Riddell Anthony. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
You know, Dick, the Bucs haven't been able to rush the passer very well, but the one thing they've been doing pretty well has been protecting their quarterback, and they've been taking care of John Randall, who's their best pass rusher. It's Paul Gruber. He's doing a good job of inviting him to the outside. Remember, early in the game, he got beat to the inside. Now he's taking that away, and he's forcing him to go up the field, which allows Dilfer to step up in the pocket.
2nd and 10 on the 16-yard line. 10:39 to go in the 3rd quarter. Warrick Dunn, nothing doing, and picks up a yard after all of that. Will be 3rd down coming up, and good pressure by Tony Williams. 3rd down. One of the problems that Boge Fazio has talked about as far as his defense is concerned is the fact that the Vikings have not had an interception this year. Last year, after 3 games, they had 7 picks. So far, they've come up empty in that department. 3rd and 9. They're the corner. Dilfer's pass, and unable to hold on to it is Warrick Dunn on the low throw.
Got to give him a chance to get to that ball. The plan was good. They were going to run everybody off and give Warrick Dunn room underneath to work. And had he given him a better pass, he'd have had a chance, because Darnell McDonald cleared out the left side, and it would have just been the vision of Warrick Dunn to make it happen.
Mark Royals to kick it away, and Robert Tate calling for the fair catch at the 12-yard line. So Warren Sapp can't play today, and he wishes he could, because he's living and dying with this game. No question about it, as his Buccaneers trail 21-7. The Vikings trying to even their season at 2-2 on the year, and they were 8-0 at home last year, but lost to the Raiders in their first game here at the Metrodome a couple of weeks ago. They start from the 13-yard line. 21-7 the score, and here's Robert Smith breaking the tackle, and Smith picking up about 6 yards on the play. Tampa Bay with a tremendous defense, really on pace to be one of the best defenses in league history. That's kind of early to say after 3 games. But today, going against the Viking offense that has found its gear.
Well, the first 3 games, there's an adjustment to be made, and always remember, you never start where you finished. I mean, they're not the same team they were a year ago, but they got to find their way, and they're going to as the season goes on. Lynch is up. Here he is, right here.
Long count on 2nd and 4. Here's Chris Carter. Dives close to the first down, and it was Shelton Quarles making the tackle. Well, in just 5 days, virtual reality becomes reality when Chris Carter, creator of the X-Files, brings you the ultimate mind game. Don't miss the series premiere of Harsh Realm, Friday at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
You know what I like about Chris Carter? He's decisive. And not this one on the front. I don't even know that guy. But that guy, I know. He's decisive. Now this will set up this 3rd and short. He just took the ball, knew he had to get upfield, and he did it.
Chris Walsh in the game at wide receiver goes in motion. The pass underneath to Carter. First down for Minnesota. And the Vikings, who started at the 12-yard line, keep possession with 8:20 remaining here in the 3rd.
That's tough coverage. I mean, really, he's the king at using his body. You're going to watch him right inside. And he's going to be working right here on Shelton Quarles. Actually, that's excellent coverage by Quarles. He got his hands on him, redirected him. But when you give a guy like Chris Carter an option, he just takes what you do to him and uses it to his advantage. That time you saw him get a push, he just broke it right into his route.
Quarles beat out Jeff Goosh for the outside linebacking position. And Robert Smith to the 29, a gain of about 3. Right now, for an NFL update, let's return to Joe Buck in L.A. Joe?
Well, Dick, one of the many weapons for St. Louis is having a career day in Cincinnati. Oz Hakeem, his 3rd touchdown of the day. This is the beginning of the 3rd quarter. 84 yards on the punt return. A little hurdle at the end. It's 28-3 Rams. You have to wonder if St. Louis is for real. Back to Minneapolis, Dick and Matt.
And Joe, you would know, of course, from St. Louis, but good weapons on this St. Louis team. And Kurt Warner getting it done for the Rams, Matt.
It's easy to be a good coach and a good quarterback when you have all the people who are around him.
2nd down and 6. Tioka Jackson is chasing Randall Cunningham, who gets stopped from behind by Chidi Ahanatu. But I tell you, the Rams really one of the early season surprises in the NFC.
Well, Marshall Faulk has given them something they haven't had there. Consistency in the running game and an extra receiver out of the backfield. Kurt Warner, nobody really knows much about. But I talked to him this past week, and one thing he has is confidence. He's been around. He's an older guy. He understands how to use all the players around him. Remember, you still have Isaac Bruce. That Torrey Holt was a draft pick. There's a lot of players there. After a while, you can't help but be good.
And there are a lot of leagues for Kurt Warner to play in.
He likes this one.
3rd and 3. Here is Chris Carter trying to keep his feet in bounds, and he does.
Well, he got the catch, but it's right on that marker. Right on that marker. And that marker there is the approximation marker. The other one across are the official chains.
Well, if you want a first down, go to Chris Carter. 6 for 6 in that department this year.
Watch him get his feet down. He's got to get him inside.
They're going to measure. They're going to bring the sticks in from across the field. Another look.
Watch his feet. And watch where the ball is, where his feet go out. See, because you're marking where the ball is as it goes out. He has to have his feet in bounds to be able to make it the completion, but it's where the ball goes out that matters.
Ooh, he's got it just by the edge of the football.
Just by the hair of his chinny chin chin.
Who's better at this? I don't know of anyone. First down for the Vikings at the 35-yard line. 6:32 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 21-7 the score. We have not had any scoring yet here in the 3rd. Vikings spread it out with 4 wide receivers in the game. Cunningham looking for one of them and goes to Robert Smith underneath. Robert Smith looking for running room. Appears to have another first down. So the Buccaneers did a good job with the receivers, but Smith.
Dick, it starts right here. This offensive line has been playing extremely well today. Nice job by Stussy on the top. McDaniel inside. Christie inside. David Dixon got his hands up. Corey Stringer. They're just giving Randall Cunningham all kinds of time to throw the football. The weak link of that offensive line coming off of a knee has been big number 71, David Dixon.
First down at the 45-yard line of Minnesota. On the handoff, Robert Smith, and nothing there. But it's very tough for the Buccaneers defense to play without Warren Sapp. and Steve White in this game today. And while Tony Dungy told us yesterday, I really relish this opportunity to see what we're made of. You'd rather be made of a team with Warren Sapp and Steve White.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you want your best players out there, but when you don't, hey, you got to go with the guys who are behind them, and they have to prove their worth as well. But right now, they're going against an offensive line, Dick. Jeff Christie's playing very well, and those two guards are playing very well.
Cunningham yet to be sacked. Thrown one interception when the Vikings were heading in. 2nd and 10, and the flip to Robert Tate for a minimal gain.
There's an answer to the question that Pam posed to Tony Dungy at halftime. How are you going to generate your pass rush? There was an answer. They have been able to do it just with their 4-down linemen. We've documented that. That time he came with the blitz. If you can't get there with 4, you have to come with 5. And if you can't get there with 5, then you have to bring 6. But when you do that, it puts pressure on your secondary to have to cover. And when you're covering the likes of Lawson, Carter, and Reed, it's tough.
10th play of the drive coming up. Monty Kiffin used to be upstairs, now down on the field, calling the defenses. 3rd down and 7. Randall Cunningham stepping up, gets hit as he throws, and he completes the pass to Mo Williams out of the backfield, and a first down to the 40-yard line. And Cunningham was on his way down as he got rid of the pass. It's a 12-yard gain.
Beautifully done by Cunningham. He was looking to his right with Chris Carter. Actually wanted to go. And then as he got hit and he started to fall, here's Chris Carter down below. It's him and the tight end to this side. You can see the vision. He looks here. Now he's coming back. It's not there. He has the presence to be able to come back to his check down underneath, which is very well done.
First down at the 40-yard line. Nearly 3.5 minutes remain in the 3rd quarter. They go to Robert Smith, cutting inside. Robert Smith brought down by Damian Robinson, but not before a pickup of about 5.
This is the best this offensive line has looked at. And I watched them against the Raiders, and they got manhandled. And then I sat in there and just watched a bunch of tape to see what was going on. There's a couple of things going on. I think Todd Stussey's been playing very well, but every now and then he'll have a slip-up. Randall McDaniel has been solid, as he always is. Jeff Christie, I think, is a little bit beat up. Has not been playing to his standard of a year ago. He went to the Pro Bowl. And David Dixon's coming off a knee, which really hampered him because he doesn't bend as well.
2nd down and 5. Cunningham has time. He's going for Jake Reed, and it's tipped away by Donnie Abraham with a textbook coverage into the end zone, and Cunningham going for 6.
Very well done by Donnie Abraham. And he's aided by this ball. Cunningham lets it hang up there just a little bit. See, watch right there, the little bit of hesitation. Jake Reed, he wanted a flag because the right arm goes around the head of Jake Reed. Watch his right arm. Now, he would have had it in the National Wussy League. They'd have made the call on that.
3rd down and 5. Donnie Abraham at 5'10" against those tall receivers.
Chris Carter is mad.
He's hopping mad. That's what he was.
Literally.
Timeout, Vikings. Stockton and Matt Millen along with Pam Oliver. 2:43 remaining in the 3rd. Vikings calling a timeout as the play clock was hurtling to 0. And that will bring up 3rd down and 5 on the 35-yard line of Tampa Bay. And, of course, the Vikings trying to get the touchdown pass to Reed moments ago. They know that the Buccaneers are hanging around in this game. Mo Williams is the running back. Carter, who has caught 3 passes so far in the 2nd half.
And that's who I would have to defend right now, because he's been the chain mover in this whole series.
3rd down and 5. Cunningham with time, going for Randy Moss, and nearly intercepted by Donnie Abraham, and almost a carbon copy to the previous pass to Reed. So Abraham doing his job, bringing up 4th down.
Dick, you're right on the carbon copy, because again the ball hung up just enough. Remember, the safety Lynch is hanging right in the middle. They know that he has to take away the deep pass, but Abraham did a beautiful job of hanging and then going up for it. Actually, that should have been an interception. That's a ball he has to make.
4th down, and Mitch Berger at midfield will kick. Carl Williams is back. And, of course, Berger wants to keep this ball in play. He's not looking for the touchback. And the Vikings trying to keep it in, cannot. A lot of purple jerseys down there. And it will go as a touchback. Chris Walsh trying to keep it in to no avail. We'll be right back.
West Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By Coors Light, frost brewed to tempt the clean taste of the Rockies. By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. And by Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Well, the score remains what it was at halftime, 21-7 Minnesota. Carter doing a lot of the talking down there with Ray Sherman and the other offensive players. But the Buccaneers begin from the 20-yard line. Trent Dilfer, the quarterback, and his pass is batted down. Clemens was there along with Ball. Ball got the paw on it.
Not easy to get up there so high when you're Jerry Ball, but he's made his presence felt pretty well today. He's done a good job. Remember, this is his first back into this scheme. Did a good job of power rush, and then he gets his hands up. People forget. Now, you see the girth, and he's pretty hefty. But he's a really good athlete.
He is.
He was an excellent athlete all the way back in high school, and he's carried that all the way through.
And they welcome back not only Ball, but Chris Doman, who's in there now at defensive end on passing down. 2nd down and 10. Here's Warwick Dunn on the receiving end, and Dunn gets to within 1.5 yards of the first down.
Dick, you know, lost in this whole thing right here. Chris Carter was talking. Cunningham was there. You had the coordinator there. Ray Sherman was in there talking. There's a lot of good football things going on. And this guy right here, young receiver, Matt Hatchett, he stuck his ear in there because that's a valuable time for a young player to learn a lot about the game.
This is a team deep in receivers, and Denny Green has always had a history of bringing players along.
That's good. That shows me something from a young player. He's staying in the game, but he also wants to learn.
3rd down and 2. Dilfer has some time, and the pass is caught by Dave Moore, and the tight end who got the touchdown pass for the only Buccaneers score grabs this for 19 yards and a 1st down.
Dick, an excellent job again. This time Wunsch does a good job on John Randall, taking away the inside and then forcing him back upfield. And when you do that, you have the time to throw. And Moore is able to just sit down inside that zone in front of the safety, Griffith, to make a big play.
Bucks on their own 47. With a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter. Dilfer's pass tipped and incomplete. Remember, the Buccaneers, last 2 times they had the ball, had drives that were stalled at midfield with an opportunity to really move closer to the Vikings. And now they're just about at midfield again. So that will bring up 2nd down and 10.
Coach Fazio that time coming with some pressure. Dilfer looks pretty good to me today. I mean, he knows where he has to go with the ball. That time Foge, the defensive coordinator, came with a blitz, had Hitchcock outside man-to-man. He knew where the ball had to be. It just got knocked down.
Had a great game last week, 15 of 18, did Dilfer. 2nd down and 10, and Dilfer in trouble. And instead of forcing the pass, takes the sack. Only the 2nd time that the Vikings have got to him, and a loss of 3.
Well, that time it looked like coverage. And there's no place to throw the ball. He wanted to throw it. Williams is able to come up on it. He's looking over here to his right side. John Randall gets there and forces him back inside, almost like what happened in the first sack. Randall forced the issue. Then he stepped up, and Williams was right there. We'll set up this 3rd down at about 12.
3rd and 13. On the 46-yard line, Dilfer in trouble, and his pass, and it's a low pass ruled incomplete. Darnell McDonald, the rookie, and a flag is down. Good pressure by Tony Williams, but a penalty marker down on the incompleted pass, and this will go against Tampa Bay, apparently.
Well, he pointed to Tampa Bay, but he also showed a roughing the passer.
Personal foul.
That's it.
Roughing the passer on the defense, number 92. 15 yards.
Dwayne Clemens, a costly penalty on the Vikings here.
Watch him at the end. He does a good job of staying with it. I'm sorry.
And it was 3rd and 13 at the 44-yard line, and as a result of
I think that's a bad call.
the personal foul, the Buccaneers will have a first down in Minnesota territory on their 41.
Am I wrong? Am I missing something?
Well, they could
To me,
rule
I
that
mean,
it's a dangerous tackle with his knees. No.
Dangerous. Every tackle's dangerous. This is the NFL. Holy smokes.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Handoff to Allstott. Nothing doing. And that'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter. So my partner burns a little bit up here on that call.
And it's not from the chili, let me tell you.
We'll tell you that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Vikings 21 and the Buccaneers 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue right after these messages. We start the 4th quarter here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis with the Minnesota Vikings leading 21-7. If you looked at the time of possession in the ball control story and the number of plays, you'd say this game is dead even. It's not. And that is because the Vikings had quick strikes and long strikes for their 3 early touchdowns. Start of the 4th quarter, 2nd and 10 at the 41-yard line of Minnesota. Dilfer with a pump fake has it slapped away by Randall, and it's recovered by Randall for the Vikings. And the first turnover of the game suffered by Minnesota.
Well done by John Randall. Beat him top side. They were giving him the outside all day. Okay, so they forced him up, but he was able to turn the corner and slap that away, have the presence to also pick it up. We'll be back.
Chuck, it's Rennie. I'm stuck. Call me back.
To get a jam on the tight end. Corey Miller, 55. This is as good as it gets. Get your hands on him, you keep forcing him. And because of that, it's forced to look back underneath to the back. Griffith took that away, and then Randall slapped the ball down.
So the Vikings get the ball.
See John Lynch up
on the 44-yard line. Robert Smith spinning his way, and he picks up 2 yards on the play. So Tampa Bay's defense called on again. They have done a great job ever since the first 3 possessions, which were 3 touchdown passes by Randall Cunningham, 2 to Randy Moss, 1 to Andrew Glover, the tight end. They have held the fort, and the Buccaneers offense have managed only 1 touchdown. We're early here in the 4th quarter.
John Lynch had a chance to turn this into a 2nd and about 14. Instead, they're 2nd and 8.
John Lynch has been all over the field today, making some phenomenal plays. Here is Cunningham, and the pass out to Chris Carter, diving for the first down yardage, and just may have it. We'll wait to see where they spot the ball.
Well, Dick, now they're starting to, Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator for the Bucs, starting to open up a little bit.
Carter slow getting up on the far sideline.
Now, if you're one of their coaches over there, say, Chris, are you all right? Stay down. Don't get up. Not that you want them hurt. You just don't want them back in the game.
Carter is on the far sideline with some of the Tampa Bay people tending to him. And now he's not going to get up so fast. 61-yard touchdown pass early in the game from Cunningham to Randy Moss. Went right back to Moss on the slant, and Moss found the end zone. 27-yard score. And then in a play that was challenged by Tony Dungy and upheld by the officials' call, Andrew Glover with the touchdown pass. But now Chris Carter is being worked on the far sideline. And I'll tell you what, he has been a durable warrior for so many years as a wide receiver. And there is Reed and Cunningham around him. This is the leader, the coach on the field and in the locker room for Dennis Green. Now Chris running it off, and the crowd gives him a standing ovation. At least some of them do.
The ones who don't are all Buck fans.
And we'll get a report on
McGuire hit 65th, and Sosa hit one, 63.
Last day of the regular season.
65 dingers. That's amazing. 135 in 2 years. Not bad.
To say the least. Here's the handoff. Robert Smith going on the outside is tackled by Marcus Jones for a loss on the play. And speaking about baseball, we're getting into postseason on Fox. And Wednesday, the Red Sox and the Indians in the American League playoff begins at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Nomar Garciaparra winning the American League batting championship. And in the National League wild card race going down to the wire, the Mets are tied 1-1 with Pittsburgh. Houston with a 1-game lead. They're up 4-0 over the Dodgers, and the Cincinnati Reds play later in Milwaukee. Here's a screen pass to Robert Smith, and Smith will be short of the first down by about 5 yards as he gets to the 41-yard line of Tampa Bay. Remember, if Chris Carter back in the game, winner of that Houston-Cincinnati battle captures the National League Central, of course the Mets and the loser of that battle fighting for the National League wild card. So Carter is back. It'll be 3rd down coming up for the Vikings.
Yeah, but he's not running right.
He had an injured left hip was the report on him.
Yeah, if it's a hip pointer, then you just got to gut that out. But just watching him, he's not running right. A hip pointer is not going to, if that's what it is, not going to hurt you anymore. Just have to play through the
3rd and 6, pressure knocked away, and that was Rondy Barber on a corner blitz coming in, and we'll have a penalty marker down, and the roughing the passer call will be charged against the Buccaneers. And Rondy Barber there as Carter still struggling out there.
Personal foul on the defense, number 27. Roughing the passer, a blow to the head, 15 yards, automatic, first down.
It's not 27. That would be
20, Rondy Barber.
Yeah, that would be Robbie Abdullah. You can watch Chris Carter working down there with that hip. And the turf monster bit him right there. Ronde Barber came off the corner. You can see him, number 20.
Oh, he went right at his helmet. Right at the face. So they mark off the penalty. And it'll be a first down for the Vikings at the 26-yard line. So first 3 games, the Buccaneers committing 11 penalties, already 7 today. Working on Chris Carter on the sideline. First down at the 26. Chris Walsh, number 81, has entered the game, replacing Carter at wide receiver. Robert Smith with the give, and the handoff to Smith gets inside the 20-yard line. Good blocking up front again by Minnesota.
Now, one of the things that when you're a receiver in this offense, it's not just catching all the balls. You also have to be well-rounded and blocked. And if you're Jake Reed, you use that big body as he does right here. It's a good job of staying on him and pushing him down the field. Ronde Barber has nothing to do with the play. Good receivers can catch. Great receivers block and catch.
2nd down and 3 at the 19-yard line, and Robert Smith stopped inside the 20, short of the first down by about 3. No gain on the play. That was Damian Robinson making the tackle. Of course, Leroy Horde, who has been the change-up running back for the Vikings, the power runner, is out with an injured knee. So the power running not there today for the Minnesota Vikings as the change in pace. They have gone with Mo Williams, who himself was hurt since last December. Saw a brief action last week, so it's been in the hands of Robert Smith. Chris Carter back in the game, not to be denied. 3rd down and 3. Rolling out is Cunningham. He completes it to Carter, but well short of the first down. In fact, it'll be another no gain.
That's a heck of a play by Ronde Barber. That's very well done. You know, Chris Carter injured his hip, but Ronde Barber stays right on that hip. Look at this. Just be patient. Now run underneath. Run, make the tackle. Beautiful. That is textbook.
And that forces the Vikings to attempt a field goal.
Now watch him hold. He held on to him right at the end, and Chris Carter doesn't like it. Chris Carter plays all the little games out there. Mind games, verbal, whatever. You have to do that in this league.
37-yard attempt for Gary Anderson, and it's blocked for the 3rd time this year. A Gary Anderson field goal attempt is blocked, and let's see whether Now there is the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, the rookie John McLaughlin. But Gary Anderson now 4 of 9, nothing like last year in the field goal department. And I think McLaughlin got a hand on it.
When you design a car in Germany, you test it here. The Nürburgring.
Today is brought to you by the new larger Saturn L Series, the next big thing from Saturn. By smooth, refreshing Michelob Light, beer or Michelob. By the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever. And by Ameritrade, believe in yourself.
Well, following the block kick by John McLaughlin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Gary Anderson's field goal attempt, the Buccaneers take over on the 28-yard line. It's been a rough year for Gary Anderson, who was perfect last season for the Vikings. It is still 21-7. That was our halftime score today. Dilfer handing off to Mike Allstott with a head of steam. Mike Allstott, first down and more, and trying to strip the ball away was Corey Miller, but Allstott held on and a gain of 19 yards. But Gary Anderson, Matt, last year, the first player in NFL history not to miss in the regular season, perfect from 35 times. This was the opening game of the year. Field goal against Atlanta was blocked.
That was Shane Gronett. He came inside the right guard.
And against the Raiders, a block kick that was returned. And then moments ago, Anderson's kick blocked by McLaughlin. Now the Bucs have the ball on their 47-yard line. Here is Warwick Dunn, and Dwayne Rudd grabs a hold of Dunn, but not before he picks up 5.
You know, Dick, a lot of times you start talking about Gary Anderson and how he's not kicking, getting his kicks blocked. That had everything to do with protection. Unfortunately, it comes back on his shoulders, and I'm not trying to defend any kicker, that's for sure. But if you don't have the proper protection up front, it doesn't make a bit of difference how well you're kicking.
Second down and 5 for the Buccaneers in Minnesota territory. Dilfer with a pass, and it is caught by Carl Williams, and another first down. So the Buccaneers have silenced the crowd, first with the block of the field goal attempt, and now the 13-yard pickup.
Dick, this is what Terry Bradshaw sees why he likes Dilfer. I mean, he's playing well today. You can't get on Dilfer's back at all.
Warren Sapp's got to feel a little bit better, huh?
Well, he'll feel better if they get to the end, and that'll make him feel real good.
First down at the 34 of the Vikings. Dilfer up the middle, and the pass caught by Dave Moore, and the tight end, who's had a big day today, including a touchdown catch, picks up 8.
Well, you said pick up 8. He better pick up the pace attack, because now you're down by 14 at the 8-minute mark. You're going to have to maybe start going to a little bit of no huddle, or at least a sugar huddle at the line of scrimmage. Right now, you're just going to, if you score here, you're down 7. Still, there's time, but you want to try to give yourself as much time as possible.
29 yards away from a 200-yard effort. It's been a while for Dilfer. Second down and 2. Power formation, and the pass.
Oh, great
Riddell Anthony caught for the touchdown. Riddell Anthony,
bad dance,
covered by Ramos McDonald, and Anthony gets the score. And the Buccaneers, taking advantage of the block kick, marching downfield, and could come within 7.
Dick, remember last night Trent Dilfer said, anytime I have the matchup of Ramos McDonald outside or Riddell, I'm going to go with it. He said it has nothing to do with McDonald. It has everything to do with Anthony. Now watch the adjustment. That is just picturesque. Does a great job of coming back to the ball, coming down with the ball, and getting 6. He did everything right up until that stupid dance at the end.
But that's not everything right then. 95%.
It was almost perfect.
26-yard pass play, and the first touchdown catch of the year by Anthony. Jerry Ball saying hello in there to Martin Gramatica. And
hello. Don't know why you say goodbye, I say hello.
Encroachment on the defense, number 96. After this is his goal, retry from the 1.
It's the best I've seen Dilfer play.
And he was impressive last week against Denver. Let's take a look at the part of the play you weren't crazy about.
That was, I mean, that's ridiculous, but he's a dancing. Now that dance it paled in comparison to the great play he made previous to it.
So they marked off half the distance. And Martin Gramatica, third-round draft pick from Kansas State, adding the extra point. And it is now a 21-14 game. The reaction to Trent Dilfer, whose Buccaneers were down 21-0 early on, now down by only a touchdown.
Kick way down out of the end zone. Carlester Crumpler, 87, is going on with Shevin Smith. And it's just, hand-to-hand, face-to-face combat. It's an impasse. All that pushing and shoving goes on because the next kickoff, you get to do it all over again.
Randy Moss, 4 catches, 2 touchdowns in the first half, shut out so far in the second half. In fact, Jake Reed hasn't caught one either until right now in the second half. He does, and he may have a first down for the Vikings. His first reception of the second half for Reed.
Jake Reed just hopped out of bounds.
Remember, the Vikings scoring the first 3 times they had the ball, but in the second half, a different story. They had to punt twice, and then Gary Anderson's field goal attempt was blocked, and the Buccaneers came down and scored. Just under 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. First down for the Vikings on the 30. On the delay, Robert Smith, nothing doing. Shelton Quarles.
They pulled Corey Stringer, and there was a shot right in the kisser. Watch him. He's going to pull over here, come right inside. This is something that goes completely unnoticed. Watch the hit of Marcus Jones. Boom, it's a head snapper, front and back. And then Jones stays with it. He got drilled from the front, then from the back, and then made the tackle.
Like a pinball machine.
Pinball wizard. Has to be a twist.
Second and 10, Cunningham, Chidi Ahanotu, who came into the game with 4 sacks, as well as Warren Sapp, who's out, put the pressure on.
Well, it also sets up this third down, but he's looking to first, and Cunningham's getting up slow. He was looking right there to Randy Moss.
And Cunningham is down, and Carter before got injured. He came back in there. There's Jeff George, who is the backup quarterback, and
I thought the backup quarterback was Brad Johnson. Oh, I'm sorry. They left him go.
Well, that's a salary cap question.
No, they said last year that they were going to find a way to keep both of them, and they didn't. I personally think that's a mistake.
Jeff George is warming up. How's Brad Johnson doing? They're very happy with him in Washington. Timeout while Cunningham is being tended to. We'll be right back. Come out of the game flexing his throwing arm. Jeff George, seeing his first action, has gone in at quarterback. He played for the Oakland Raiders last year, and a very deep quarterback core that the Vikings have. Dante Culpepper from Central Florida, who is a first-round draft pick. The Vikings traded up to get him, but George is the man now at third down and 10 from the 30-yard line. George's pass, and it's dropped by Randy Moss. Let's see what happened to Randall Cunningham that forced him to leave the game, Matt.
Well, what happened to Randall Cunningham is the same thing that happened to Jeff George this pass play. He just got some pressure. Marcus Jones came flying over the top and flopped on him. Jeff George comes in. The very next play, Marcus Jones did the same flying body slam again.
So there's Randall Cunningham.
They were checking his right shoulder, his throwing shoulder.
And he's going to limber up to see whether he could come back. Meanwhile, Mitch Berger will punt. Carl Williams back deep. Another super kick by Mitch Berger sends Williams back to the 15. Carl Williams, and that's Robert Tate who wrestles it down at the 28-yard line with under 6 minutes to go. Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp staying in this game, yeah, because remember, Warren Sapp plays as much with his head as he does with his body. And he's into it down there.
Yeah, he has been a force while not playing on the sideline. And Warren Sapp looking at the scoreboard, checking the score, seeing his team with a chance to come back. 27. Play action. Dilfer up the middle, incomplete. And that pass intended for Carl Williams.
Crunch time for Dilfer. And this is when the Bucs need him. That was a well-designed play. They both the play action. He had the crossing route. That ball has to be thrown better. He's had himself a good game here today. But he wants to turn it into a great game. He's got to finish it.
He had 5 interceptions in his first 2 games, none last week. Mike Shula upstairs calls the plays. Randall Cunningham injured his right shoulder. Checking to see how it feels. 2nd and 10. Handoff to Warwick Dunn. Warwick Dunn still on his feet, has the first down as he crosses the 40-yard line. So the running room not there early for the Buccaneers up the middle against the Minnesota defense. That time a gain of 13 yards.
Nice job by George Diaz, the left guard. Good job by Tony Mayberry. Middleton, watch right here. He's following that block by Mike Allstott. And then it's just the feet. You know, this is very Barry Sanders-esque. He has that same kind of quality to make you miss.
I remember Barry Sanders.
So do I. Would love to be able to still watch him.
First down at the 41 of the Buccaneers. And here is Dunn looking for running room. And Dunn picks up a couple of yards. Robert Griffith, the strong safety, making the hit.
Nice job of being patient, showing patience out of your play call. Not panicking. You're at the 5-minute mark. You're down by 7. Just stay with the game plan. Don't get out of it. In fact, Tony Dungy's staff has done an excellent job all day of sticking with the plan and not deviating.
Well, when you have a patient coach, he doesn't just speak it, he walks the walk, and he was patient when his team was down by 3 touchdowns. 2nd and 8. Dilfer looking for help. Allstott. And Mike Allstott will be 5 yards shy of the first down as he's tackled from behind by Jerry Ball at the Buccaneer 45-yard line.
Jerry Ball is playing really well today. He really is. I mean, it looks like he's about 350 plus, maybe 360.
Well, you know, Dolman played well last week in his first game, coming over out of retirement, and Ball, who had been with the Browns, picking up where he left off. It looks like no adjustment necessary.
No, he's played extremely well. Dolman hasn't gotten a sniff all day. He's lined up right up here. They need him now. He's working on Paul Gruber.
3rd and 6. Huge 3rd down play, and wide open, and the pass caught by Jacquez Green inside the 30-yard line of the Vikings. Orlando Thomas is there, and Green lost a defensive coverage. Pick up a 26.
Excellent job right down here. Warwick Dunn making sure John Randall's not going to get there, and then he jumped inside on the coverage. He went back outside, and it was perfectly done. Hitchcock jumped the pattern last week that got them beat.
Similar pattern.
You play, sometimes you take chances. That happens.
First down at the 30-yard line of the Vikings. And here is Dilfer passing to Allstott, who fights his way to the 21, pickup of nearly 9 yards. And who would have thought, when it was 21-0 in the first quarter with those 3 spectacular touchdown passes, that this game would come down to the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds with the Buccaneers with a ball and a chance to tie it.
Dick, I can only think of one guy who would have thought that, and that was you. Because we went to commercial, and you said, this game's not over. It's going to come down to the last throw. I didn't know you were a clairvoyant.
I still don't think I am. 2nd and 1. Play action, and Dilfer drills it, and it's caught, and Moore holds on. Now they say incomplete. Orlando Thomas with the hit on Dave Moore. It looked like he had come down with the ball, but the officials were right there, and it goes as an incomplete pass.
Nice play action, was able to get the pass rush and everybody up inside. Now there's the catch.
Good call.
The good call by Orlando. Nice hit by Thomas, but a good call by the official.
And as it turns out, that wasn't even close to being a good reception. So it's 3rd and 1. 2:14 on the clock. 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 2:14 on Looks the way he did when he was down by 3 touchdowns. Warrick Dunn. And Warrick Dunn is stopped by Tony Williams. And it'll be 4th down and 1. And the 2-minute warning as we wind down to it right here. And it'll give Tony Dungy a chance to set up what will be a 4th and 1 that he'll have to try to convert. We'll be right back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite. Taste a true Pilsner.
In regulation, 4th down and 1 coming up for Tampa Bay. The Minnesota Vikings took a 21-0 lead on their first 3 series of the game with 2 touchdown passes from Randall Cunningham to Randy Moss, and then Andrew Glover, the tight end, caught one. It was 21-7 at the half, and then the Buccaneers scored in their last possession. Down by a touchdown, need a 1st down here. Dilfer to throw, getting pressure, and the pass is intercepted by Corey Miller.
Tried to sneak Warrick Dunn on Corey Miller. And a poor pass by Dilfer.
And the first interception of the season by the Minnesota Vikings. And it comes at a perfect time. Corey Miller with the interception turns the ball over to the Minnesota Vikings with 1:54 to go. And the Vikings maintain their 21-14 advantage.
They're going to take Warrick Dunn. They're going to swing him down the sideline. He tried to pick him. Oh, that's very well done by Corey Miller. He avoided the pick. Actually, they mistimed that pick. He didn't quite. He couldn't go hit him. That's perfectly done. And actually, that's a very poor throw. Chris Carter's a happy guy.
And he looks a lot healthier now from that hip injury. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers have 3 timeouts left, and Randall Cunningham is back in the game at quarterback, and they're going to have to use these timeouts on defense.
There's one right here.
They stop Robert Smith after a gain of 1 yard, and the clock stops at 1:49 with a Buccaneer timeout.
They did get some pressure. I want you to watch inside the pressure that's going to come. They came with a blitz, a delay blitz right inside. Dilfer still had enough time. Eddie McDaniel was coming, but he still had time to set and throw that ball. He almost was a great game up to that point. He played really well, and then that just was a bad throw. Didn't get enough on it, and it hung.
Tampa Bay will use up another timeout now, and of course, along with using the timeouts, the defense has to hold the Vikings from getting a 1st down. Dennis Green's team with a 1-2 start for only the 2nd time in his 8-year tenure, and the 1st time since the Vikings did not make the playoffs in '95. So looking to even the season at 2-2, and Tampa Bay with a road game at Green Bay next week. Trying to get one last shot. 2nd down and 9. Randall Cunningham rolling out and firing downfield, and is incomplete.
That was stupid.
That was Carter.
Dick, that was not very smart. Now you saved them a timeout
for the Bucs.
Exactly. You stop the clock and you saved them a timeout.
One of those plays that if you make it, you're a hero, and the game really is over at that time. But if you don't, now you face 3rd down and still 1:42 on the clock, and a big timeout still in the pocket of Tampa Bay.
All he had to do was take off and run and slide, stay in bounds. I mean, the down wasn't as important as the clock.
So it's 3rd down and 9. And if the Buccaneers defense holds, they get their hands on the ball again. And it's going to be a pass to Robert Smith.
Ball timeout.
And a timeout. And so not only will the Buccaneers get the ball back, Matt, but they still will have 1 timeout left.
Look at they only used 30 seconds. That is
poor clock management by the Vikings.
Piteous, anemic, saddening. In a word, pathetic.
Mr. Thesaurus with us today.
Mr. Thesaurus, thank you. Suffering.
Look at that. Denny, please use every second. That's a pretty propitious sign.
Yeah, look who signed it too. Yeah. Randall. Did you see that? It was signed by Randall.
4th down, and Mitch Berger will kick from the goal line. And Carl Williams is back to return. Tampa Bay needing a touchdown and an extra point to tie, has one timeout remaining, and that's one more than they ever dreamed of having.
Now they need a return.
Well, not many have returned much against the great kicking of Berger. Look, another boomer by Berger to the 29-yard line. Carl Williams looking for running room and brought down. That was a big play, special teams-wise, by Mo Williams, because a good return would have put Tampa Bay in real good field position.
That's a good kick, too, by Berger. That's a monster.
56 yards, Matt. So now Trent Dilfer has one last shot after going over 200 yards for the first time since November 22nd, 1998. That's last year.
Last November.
22nd,
I don't know if you realize that, but that was almost a year ago. Actually, Dick, if I remember right, that was your birthday.
Correct.
Things don't get by me, let me tell you.
Not much. One timeout left for the Bucs from the 35-yard line. Dilfer goes underneath to Jacquez Green, but he's tackled immediately. Clock is running with 1:15 to go.
Urgency, offensive line. Get to the ball. Get set. Don't take your good old fat time. Get up there and get set.
Second down and 4.
Should have had 2 plays called in the huddle and get right to the ball.
Tampa Bay taking too much time, and a flag is down, and they're going to blow this one down before the play started, indicating it will be against the offense, and a false start penalty upcoming against the Bucs.
At least it stops the clock for them. Now, stop your lollygagging.
Start on the offense, number 71. 5 yards remains.
Jerry Wunsch playing instead of the injured Jason Odom today at right tackle.
Watch him right down here. That's all you needed. A little bit of movement. Once you're set, you got to be set.
These are the problems that come up when you have replacements and injuries and people who aren't practicing with the same unit all day.
They got to call 2 plays right here, and they have to right now. They have to use the center of the field. They got their 2 deep coverage they're looking for.
Second down and 9 at the 36.
Use the middle of the field right now in this play at a minute to go.
Dilfer going up the middle, and a pass is caught by Riddell Anthony, and Anthony's still on his feet.
Heck, he lost himself 6 yards.
Yes, he did. He should have been at the 41. Instead, he's at the 46-yard line. Gets 18, and they line up in a hurry and stop the clock, but a flag comes out, and this one will also go against Tampa Bay. They weren't set before the snap, and they'll be penalized 5 yards.
What wasn't set? He'll tell us.
Before the snap, there was a false start on the offense, number 64. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Diaz.
And the rules require when that happens under 1 minute,
Here, listen.
10 seconds to be taken
And
off.
they will
Take off 10 seconds.
That's right.
Watch 64 right there.
3 seconds, and it will start on the ready for play.
Talking about getting to the middle of the field, they had the coverage they wanted. Riddell Anthony just ran with it. Now he was at the 42, right there. 35, they keep going all the way back.
First down and 15 at the 49-yard line of the Buccaneers. Heavily penalized today. Dilfer going up top for Jacquez Green, and that pass is out of bounds, and a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. And the clock stopping with 27 seconds remaining, and that will be a hold. So the Bucs are self-destructing with 3 penalties here on this final drive.
Holding, offense, number 64. 10 yards, remains first down.
The Minnesota Vikings trying to hang on. They took a 21-0 lead in the first quarter, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense playing brilliantly since that point has scored 2 touchdowns, and now a penalty setting back the Bucs again, Matt.
That's a good call. George Diaz.
First and 25 with 27 seconds to go for Tampa Bay. They're going backwards. They still have 1 timeout left, but they need a touchdown and an extra point to tie. Screen pass to Warrick Dunn. And Warwick Dunn into Viking territory will be going out of bounds with 19 seconds remaining. That was an 18-yard pickup, so the Bucs are back in Viking territory at the 43. Dungy, the most animated he has been all day.
All day. Trying in all 4 years. It's the most I ever see him get fired up. Dick, they had this game. This game came back to them. And they had a chance, and they had a very poorly thrown ball that resulted in an interception.
But then the Vikings could not get a first down. Tampa Bay getting one last chance. But penalties have hurt them on this drive. 2nd down and 7. Dilfer underneath again to Warwick Dunn. And Dunn gets inside the 30, and the Buccaneers will use their last timeout with 12 seconds to go. A 14-yard pickup. And they're at the 29 of Minnesota. So the Bucs, no more timeouts, and they have to go to the end zone to try to salvage a tie out of this game, which at one point looked like it might be a Viking blowout. It was 21-0 in the first quarter in favor of the Vikings. "12 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Vikings trying to hold off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming back from a 21-0 deficit, hurt by the penalties. Randall Cunningham has had a big game with 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Randy Moss. But the Bucs trying to come all the way back. Face a 1st and 10 at the 29 of Minnesota. 12 seconds to go and no timeouts remaining.
These last 12 seconds are courtesy of Randall Cunningham's poor clock management.
And the pass bobbled, and they rule it a catch by Jacquez Green. And now the Buccaneers have the ball at the 17-yard line, and the clock stops with 7 seconds to go.
That was very well done. I was about to say you had to at least get down to about the 15, because now you have a manageable throw. You have enough room to be able to work the whole field. It doesn't shrink. Jacquez Green is able to make that catch, get his feet in bounds. You got one play, and Dick, as you said, this is going to come down to the last play. Here it is.
And they have to go to the end zone with it. Nothing underneath. Time running out. No timeouts left. Dilfer's pass incomplete. 3 seconds still on the clock.
I didn't like that. He was going to throw at the 5-yard line. That made no sense.
And a lot of purple shirts waiting in the end zone. That's Warren Sapp, by the way, if you're just joined us, who is not playing today with a broken left hand. Dennis Green trying to get the Vikings even at 2-2 on the year. And Trent Dilfer trying to pull out a miracle.
Dick, he had Darnell McDonald, who he tried to hit. It went over his head, but he threw it at the 5-yard line. You can't do that. He's got to be able to throw into the end zone.
3 seconds to go. Barring a penalty, this should be the last play of the game. And there's the pass. It's tipped incomplete. And that'll do it. No time remaining. Darnell McDonald, the intended receiver, well blanketed by the Vikings. Robert Griffith. And the game is over. And 2 former friends who have both coached in Minnesota. Denny Green, the head coach. Tony Dungy, his former defensive coordinator, meet again in an exciting finish. And the Vikings win it by a score of 21-14. Here is that last play again to McDonald.
Defensively, all you have to do is stay at the end line. Just stay at the goal line marker. Of the goal line, rather, just because they have to go into the end zone.
At one time, the Vikings led 21-0. Trent Dilfer with his 2nd career 300 passing game. One last chance. And that was the play that ended it as the Vikings win it 21-14, sending the Buccaneers to a 2-2 record. So Tampa Bay gives it a fight without Warren Sapp, but falls short 21-14. We'll have our studio in Los Angeles coming up in just a moment. Dick Stockton along with Matt Millen saying so long from Minneapolis.